Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Just going to get rid of this. There we go. That's better. All right. So, can everybody hear me now? Hello again, everybody. Everybody. Okay. Hopefully, everybody can hear me good. I'm just checking to make sure everything is working fine. I seem to be having a good microphone output. So we'll just there we go. All right. So everybody, just give me a thumbs up or some kind of indication that you can hear me, that I'm coming through okay. I'm just waiting for there's Tusk. Hello, Tusk. Welcome, welcome. And Hilda.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm just gonna kind of put us. There we go. That works a little bit better.
Yeah, that's better.
There you go. Dr. Jim Bob's tractor.
I'm just looking at that. Who is that?
That's Tusk being Tusk.
So,
Okay.
Dr.
excuse.
Jim Bob is actually Rob Parks, or Professor Parks, PhD now.
Uh-huh.
Do
Wow.
you know what? I'm going to start doing the same. I'm going to start calling myself Dr. Tusk, PhD.
Ah, awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is coming through all nice and clear. We're all good to go.
There we are.
So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with StreamYards from now on until I get this OBS
Mm-hmm.
crap sorted out.
Have you
Because I
tried
do
hitting it
like
with a hammer?
well, yeah, but there's so much you can do with OBS when you've got it running properly. But the thing is, it fucks up so easily if everything's not set just right, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Right.
tired of dealing with these issues every week. So
Clive
I'm
saying
just
he's
gonna,
got a lot of. Sorry, Clive's saying he's got a lot of echo.
yeah, I'm just
I'm
gonna
not,
stick with Streamyards.
okay.
Yeah,
I can't hear any echo. So, but
yeah,
obviously
exactly,
I don't have my
exactly.
speakers on. So, all Clive Wells is echo, echo, echo.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
and now you're just coming through clear as a bell.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've got
So
the option of can't hear anybody, but there's no echo, or you can hear us perfectly well, but it's echoey.
yeah,
Oh, great.
exactly. So I know you only got about a half an hour, and then you and Eddie got to go. But thanks for coming on, because I know how much Hilda loves your Scottish accent. So
If you want to hear Scottish accent, there's a whole internet out there for that sort of thing. You
yeah, I
don't
know,
need.
but
Uh-huh.
she kind of got used to yours in my streams.
Oh,
I
my
just find it very interesting. It's my area. Language is my area. So I
well,
love to hear variations of things.
this isn't my normal accent. This isn't how I
Oh,
usually speak.
oh,
Mm.
really?
Yeah, I have to temper it and water it down. Otherwise, nobody would have a clue what I was talking about most of the time.
Mm.
Okay. I can believe that.
Yeah, there's been a few times when there's like myself, Tatty, Pip, and Keela all drunk on the stream going at it, and nobody has the first idea what we're saying. We just alienate everybody. Because we're howling with laughter, and they're saying, "What are they even laughing at? What are they even saying?" You know.
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly.
All right. And
Oh,
Eddie,
some
hello, Eddie. Eddie says she's not getting any echo. Uh, Clive says echo, 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 lots of echo. Are you hearing any echo at all, Tusk?
No, none at all. It's, but then I'm not listening to it on the
Mm.
stream. I've only got it in my headphones. If I turn my stereo up, then I'll get echo. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself for a second, and I'll put on the stream and see if it's echo. No, that's stupid, isn't it? Who's echoing though? Clive? Is it
Um,
all of us, or is it Jeff, or is it Hilda? Who is it?
that's a
I'm
good
okay. I
question.
don't hear any echoes at all.
Well, I think it looks like
Okay.
Clive was playing it on Discord as well as YouTube, so it's a Clive issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should only listen to one because then you're creating an echo for yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's just greedy.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way,
Yeah.
Tusk, I
Yeah.
think you should put PhD on your name because you have rightfully and honestly earned one.
I know, but no one would believe me. That's the problem.
Well, who cares? Who cares? But you have been working on a fishing channel too, haven't you?
Yes, I
I
have.
have not been getting any notifications at all, and I know I'm subscribed.
Well, I don't know what's going on there. I'm keeping that separate. I've told you that already, I suppose. That's my safe haven away from all the anti-vaxxers and flat
Yeah,
earthers and all the
yeah,
rest of it. 'Cause
exactly.
I get so sick of especially sovsits.
Oh,
People linking me to videos of sovereign citizens going, "Oh, what do you make of this?" No, you know
mhm,
what I make of this. You know I'm a lawyer. That's why you're sending me these things, and you know it just pisses me off.
mhm,
You know,
exactly.
so please stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh God, I know, I hate it too. I can't stand it.
and I've stopped watching quite a few channels, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
that's all they do now.
yeah.
You know, people who's I'm not going to name names like Irish Demon or anything like that. You know, but I think I was like his 10th subscriber or something way back in the day. You know, and
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, but it's almost exclusively Karens and sovsits, and it's just like
yeah,
I can't be
yeah,
doing with that. You know, I mean, he's built his audience and everything. He's built his channel, and good luck to him. But it's not for me. You know.
Mhm.
yeah. Exactly. I mean, I've done the same. I haven't taken away my sub, but I've just turned off notifications because I'm tired of getting my feed filled with soft sitting Karen crap. I'm just
Yeah,
so tired of it.
yeah. I'm as you know, I'm like a moderator every damn where, like every channel, more or less. Because people know me, they trust me, you know I'm not there to mess about.
Yeah.
But I go onto the channel of some people again, I'm not going to say names like, Simon Dan or
Mhm.
anything like that. And I don't recognize anybody there anymore. There's just
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of people, like with blue wrenches, and they're obviously friends with these, like, you know who the channels are. And I'm going, who the hell are these people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I suppose that's how your channel grows and everything, but I don't feel like I've got a place there anymore.
Yeah. Even
You know?
Clive is with us. I mean, he hasn't watched Demon or Skeptic in a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, I suppose,
Same here. I mean, I didn't unsub. I just turned off notifications because I just can't stand that shit anymore.
yeah. So
And
I've
it's
started,
pointless.
yeah, you get like 10 channels all covering the same thing from a slightly different perspective, but the outcome's the same.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if, who's covering, like, what was his name? Chili, whatever his fucking name is.
Oh, that
Chili de
dickhead.
Castro is a piece of shit. But
Yeah.
you've got, he puts up one video and there's instantly 500 creators making
Hmm.
the reactions to it.
Hmm.
So, well, you're all fighting over the same crumb here. And it's just like, the only difference a lot of the time is the accent of people doing it. And you look in the side chat and you get
Yeah.
that, oh, I love your accent. And it's like, you're not
Yeah.
even listening to what the man's saying. So why bother?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot like your sister,
Yeah.
I
I
could
agree with I
I could
agree with
say any old
Chris.
shit and she'd like it.
Yeah. It stinks when a channel you like starts putting out content that you can't stomach.
Yeah, there was one channel in particular, I think we all know who I'm talking about, that used to be a flat earther, moved away from it,
Yeah.
and then suddenly just, jumped to bandwagon with like
Hmm.
celebrity media
Yeah.
garbage. They started making money off of it, and it was like, and then got surprised that he got backlash for it. So
Hmm.
what did you think was going to happen? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, we subbed to your channel, you know who, because we loved what you were doing. And the stuff you've shifted to is crap.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
sorry to say it, but it's just utter crap.
yeah. You're not a 14-year-old girl who gives a shit about Johnny Depp.
Yeah, exactly. What do
You
you
know?
think, Hilda? Have you heard about the Karens and Sovsits craze and the frauditors?
No, actually, I'm a little bit in the dark about that. I'm not online that much, aside from my work and my hobbies,
Well,
and your stream, of course. But
trust me.
that whole door has just been opened for me. So
Well,
let me
don't
know
go,
where I should not venture.
don't go through it.
Shut it as quickly as you can and slam it hard. Right?
Yeah.
My issue, right, is we with not so much the soft sets, but with the Karen videos. Right. Now some of them are just straight out racist and they're just awful people. But then you see a video of somebody goes into like KFC or McDonald's or whatever to order the thing they get every day, and it's not on the menu or they've come too late or something, and they flip out. And there's people watching this video howling with laughter. But for all you know, that person suffered like some severe trauma, and having their daily routine is the only thing that's keeping them alive, and it's got broken, and now people are laughing at them and super chatting the creator for putting this thing up, and it's fucking awful. You've got no idea why that person's behaving like that.
Yeah.
They might just have lost a family member or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it's just and it's just that absolute lack of empathy.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
it's
I mean, we've got to have at least one knitting comment during the stream. Where my hobbies are, but there's a whole a endless array of YouTube channels and posts on knitting and teaching knitting and fiber artists and yarn dyers and whatnot. And during the whole Trump situation, there was one very important site that was saying Trump supporters are not welcome to purchase patterns and materials off of this site. And it set off a war within the knitting community. And there are actually a number of businesses that actually lost like the majority of their clients and income because of this. It was a big thing. You had people on YouTube saying, what is going on in the knitting community? We're just here to put out our art form. This is not even a political, issue. We're not talking about science or medicine or flat earthing, whatever. We're talking about knitting here, people, and there are people who have built their livelihoods out of this, or, knitwear designers that have built, reams of patterns and product line, and they were completely destroyed overnight because of this political battle. It was just outrageous.
Oh,
yeah. See, that's the problem with the internet, though.
Yeah.
Because of the anonymity it offers.
Yeah.
You can literally be as much of an asshole as you want to be, and there's nothing anybody can do. Well, there are occasionally you do have recourse to the law from time to time, as Mitchell from Australia is about to find out.
Well,
anyways,
I'll tell you, when it comes to that, in the UAE, they're very strict. I mean, we're not talking about other countries like, US, Canada, it's hard to do. But here in the UAE, if you post a picture of someone on Instagram without their consent, it's a 50,000 dirham fine. So you can, even if for example, you were to go through your wife's phone to look at her pictures, that is like you have a basis for a case against your wife, basically. I mean, that's how far it goes.
wow.
So sorry, I think I misunderstood you. If you go through your wife's phone, then
and you find something
right
against her, like say she has a picture of a man, and it's just somebody from work, it's nothing, but you misinterpret that and you use it against her, or you try and argue with her about it, whatever the case, she can actually take you to court over that.
Oh, so it's like a gross invasion of privacy thing then?
Yeah, I think it's like invasion.
I wasn't sure if you were saying that if a husband could like sue his wife for having
Yeah.
pictures. But
there's a new person.
Right?
Sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to say hello to this new. I can't say that name. Not even going to try, but hello and welcome. Anyways, back to what you guys were saying.
I think we'll just call them Leo. There you go.
Hello, 2HD Cat. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so yeah. Matter of fact, it wasn't.
Welcome, welcome.
It wasn't.
Oh, echoes.
Sorry, I'm just turning off the volume. I've got my tablet on. I'm trying to read the comments here. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No problem. But Owlman, actually, I wasn't referring to Ranty, but yeah, I was not a fan of that whole drama. I couldn't be bothered. I had no interest in it at all. But he made a pretty penny off of that, I'll tell you.
Well, my issue with it is that fair enough. He said he was found himself in an abusive relationship where he was wrongly accused, and it's a bit of a stretch to say he had some affinity with Johnny Depp on that level with his case because it was a whole different thing. But he started going down more conspiracy rabbit holes and things, and it just became, you're just the same guy you were before. You've just found a new vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, that was that for me, and I just unsubbed. I was like, nah. You know,
Yeah.
it's what we call a joiner. It's like somebody who will join any group if they think, you know, like kind of conspiracy stuff. It was flat Earth, then now it's Johnny Depp and celebrity conspiracies. And next thing you know, it will be fucking God knows what.
Yeah.
You know, so
The 15 minutes of fame and a few $1,000s is what they're after, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing personally against
No.
Ranty. You know, he's doing what he's doing. It's just not for me anymore. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why I started up my other little secret fishing channel, where it's just, you know, the people on there, we all have a shared interest, and we're all there for the same reason. So there's no politics. There's no conspiracy. There are occasional arguments over, you know, baits and flies and the way you handle the fish, or do you keep the fish, do you put them back, all that sort of a thing. But it's confined to fishing chat, and that's it. And I find that really relaxing and quite therapeutic. So if I get a comment on one of my videos, I know what it's more or less what it's about, and I'm not going to have to explain to somebody, you know, fish aren't aliens or interdimensional beings. You know, fish aren't fake. You know.
Yeah.
You know, or occasionally somebody will come up with some rubbish about they think they found a loophole in the law with regards to like poaching or something, and have to set them straight. You know. So, but other than that, it's just it's more relaxing for me. You know. Because
people just need to vent. I mean, the internet is full of haters. I mean, I see my kids go through it all the time with their online chats, and they're bullied and they're groomed, and it's just full of people, psychos. Seriously, you know. And I'm finding a lot of people I talk to are just taking themselves away from the whole social media thing. They've just had it. They've just totally had it. You know, endless scrolling through pictures and videos is just burning brain cells for no reason, really. You know, it's hard to find a place where you can just talk about the interest at hand.
Yeah,
really tough.
Well, see, this little sort of community we've built up, you know, you see the same people and have a laugh and everything like that. And there are like people you see in the chat, Owlman, Chris Durham, Clive, and everything like that, and Jeff and yourself. We're all of a particular or sort of similar
mindset,
of education and understanding.
Yeah.
And everything. So when we talk to one another, we know what we're talking about, and it's cool. It's good, you know.
Yeah.
But then you get the people that aren't interested. They just come in to laugh at the idiots and don't really offer anything. Somebody whose entire contribution to the chat for the last 5 years is to call somebody a moron.
Sorry, to AHD Cat. I do recall getting your email, but can you please refresh my memory because I'm having a hard time finding it and so much going on. I may have forgotten about it. Remind me, okay, and we'll get on it. Sorry, I had to just get that out there.
Mhm.
Owlman says I disagree. Probably about your feelings about the Johnny Depp stuff.
Yeah, he's I don't know if he, I don't know if it's he, she, or they, or whatever. You say he's made money from it, good for him, and all the rest of it. That's grand. I've got no issue with that. It's just not for me. I found it distasteful, so I walked away from it.
Mhm.
You
But
know?
you know, at what point are we going to say enough with I made money off it? I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
you
is that
know,
some kind of justification?
why
You know?
are we constantly using money as our gauge for everything we do in life? Like seriously.
Hello, Keela. Sorry, just crafty Keela popped up there. Hello to you. Yeah, it's that thing. It's like fair enough. Ranty made money from it, but Nathan Oakley made money from being an absolute vile scumbag. So should we applaud him too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a second here. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Don't let me.
Oh no, that was pretty much what I had to say there.
Yeah, that's
It
pretty
was
much
just
the end of that one.
like financial gain is never a justification. You know, the ends can never justify the means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're surrounded by that. Just look at the millennials. I mean, everyone wants to be a YouTube star, you know. Uh,
Yeah, there's something I watched the other day and it just made me really angry. It's a TikToker, I can't remember their name, but they've decided that they're going to cancel the band Metallica because of things they've said and done in the past. Stupid things, unfunny
yeah,
things, and you know,
yeah,
things taken out of context as well to say the band are racist and blah blah blah. And they're really
yeah.
not.
No, no.
Mhm.
And the parting shot was it's just a bunch of old white guys, you know, doing what they want, think they can get away with it,
Uh-huh.
failing to even notice that one of the band is Filipino and the other one is Mexican and Native American. And it's like, do you
Guess
know what I
who's
mean? It's
in
like
the house?
that absolute lack of research. They just want to
Yeah,
get their name out there, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Hello, Crafty's in the house. Hello, Crafty. Good to see you, dear. Yeah, we understand. Feeding the brat. You can only listen. But hey, check your WhatsApp, okay, dear? I need your address. Hilda has some stuff she wants to send to you. So, uh, good to see you, dear. Glad you're doing okay.
Okay.
So,
So I just want to quickly address Owlman here. The UK trial wasn't a travesty. We simply have different standards of evidence, and that's people. So a lot of people bring their libel cases to the United Kingdom because the courts will take things on that American courts won't. But we have different standards of evidence, so it wasn't a travesty. It's just we simply have a different legal system.
Uh-huh.
mhm. What kind of coffee am I having today? One moment. I'll be right back and I'll show you.
Yeah. Yesterday, I managed to melt my pressure cooker on the hob. Just
Oh,
complete change of subject, but there you go.
This is it here. It's called Vina Cafe. It's a very popular brand of instant coffee
ah,
here in
Eh.
Vietnam, and it's my favorite. I love it. Of all the ones that we can get here, this is the best. So that's what I'm drinking right now.
Uh, Okay, that was quite an open-ended statement. Of all the one you can get, that's the best. Is it any good, or
Yeah.
is it just the best of what you can get?
no, it's actually
Because
pretty good.
those aren't
I
the
mean,
same thing.
this has
no,
been
they're
around
sending it
forever.
all over here. The good stuff comes over here.
You you probably had this when you were in Vietnam. It's been around forever.
Well, I have a friend, or I've not seen them for a few years now, who works in their cabin crew, and they tend to do like the first class thing. So what they used to do at the end of each flight, is all the cabin crew do, is take all the unused coffee sachets and things like that, and we would get all these really fancy dancy high end coffees,
Mhm.
and it was great. But then you get stuff like Malaysian and Vietnamese and things like that. The coffees go, this is the first class, and it's crap. It's it's just the best coffee you can get there. It's not very good coffee though. So we'd be thinking, oh, awesome, we're getting all these like high class coffees, and like this is shit. You know, it's like the way Americans feel when they come to the UK and order steak. And it's like the best steak you can buy in the UK. They wouldn't feed to dogs in America. You know,
It's about the same here. If you want to get a good steak here in Vietnam, you got to get the ones that are brought over from Australia or for the US, which is expensive as hell because the local stuff, it's tough. And
Well, I went to the local Spinneys. Now, is that a UK grocery store? I know
No.
Waitrose is.
Waitrose, I've never heard of Spinneys.
Okay, well, it's similar to Waitrose. Actually, Waitrose also, they have the special pork room where you push the button and the door opens and you go inside this cavern with all the pork products, you know. And then they wrap it up in white paper so nobody at the cash register can see that you're buying pork, you know. So I got myself a big slab of bacon and some pork chops a few weeks ago. It was so good. Real bacon. They only have the turkey stuff and the beef stuff here. So I understand what you're saying about that. We have IHOP here, and bacon is a big breakfast food, but you get that dry shoe-soled turkey bacon. Disgusting.
it's like
Bacon
that
should be
secret
outlawed.
entrance, you know.
Yeah.
That
Huh?
secret entrance, like Get Smart. You got to go through six
Yeah.
doors.
Actually, there's 7 Emirates here, and one of them is a dry emirate because the sheikh is really religious, you know. So they don't have any alcohol. You can't buy alcohol. You can't buy pork. The shops actually have headless mannequins because there's something about showing a human form. It's really bizarre. So we have to drive outside of that region to get what we need.
The headless mannequin sounds more like a warning, to be honest.
It's interesting because you see the boobs and ass are just out there for display. I mean, some of the raunchy underwear is disgusting, but it's out there. No head on it, but
Is it a hair thing, perhaps?
no, they would just put a cover over it.
Yeah, I suppose
They
you
would
could.
veil it, right?
Yeah, you could.
There's something like, in Islam, you're not supposed to put the image of a face. Like if you watch a movie about Islam, you'll never see the prophet, right?
Oh, yeah, you can't show the face. Yeah.
You can't show the face. So it has to do with that. And the stores are kind of filtered down a little bit, and the mall isn't as, bling as you would find in Dubai, for example,
Mhm.
So anyway.
I was going to say that sounds odd, but of course it is because it's a different culture. They find our culture just as odd, I suppose, when they come here.
Well, they all head out to the UK. Most of them are going to UK and Eastern Europe over the summer.
Oh,
We have
awesome.
a lot of UK stuff here. I know you're from Scotland, but
we used to find that a lot. International students would come from the Emirates, and and they would rent out really expensive student halls and everything. And I remember there was one as a few years ago. There was an advert directly across from a new student halls in the centre of Glasgow for what's the Bravissimo, the shop's called. It's an underwear shop. And there was this huge, like 50-foot by 30-foot digital billboard of a succession of women in their underwear, these images. And a lot of the students who'd come from like the Emirates and places like that were like, what the fuck? Because it was a massive culture shock for them. Because
well,
you don't see that sort of thing, and then suddenly you've got this non-stop parade of semi-naked women it was just like they didn't know what to do, you know. And we take it for granted. You walk through the city centre in Glasgow, London, Edinburgh, get underwear shops, sex
Yeah.
shops, things like Ann Summers, all that sort of a thing. And for
Yeah.
them, it was terrifying for them.
For some of them, yeah. I mean, if you're going into malls here, I mean, we've got Victoria's Secret and all those types of stores and all the lingerie's on display. And, I think it's the fact that it's a photograph of an actual woman and not a mannequin. It's kind of setting them off a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who come from rural Pakistan, and it was they didn't know how to cope with it. Some of them left.
Yeah.
They couldn't deal with it. But then, say we'd find there, if we went across there, it would just be odd to us. So
yeah,
that's the way of it, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it.
But Scotland is probably the only country in the world that will describe a holiday or how much they like a place or if you should go by how much it costs for a pint of beer.
Yeah.
And that Ireland too, I suppose. You go, did you go to the Emirates? Oh, it was really good, but it was really expensive for beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing people will say to you.
Mm-hmm.
The price of a pint.
In a restaurant, yeah, I mean, that kind of thing is expensive, but the liquor stores, prices are pretty good. You can buy just about anything. Yeah.
Hello, Sir Little Wolf. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, Foxy.
Fred Bailey, welcome. Good to see you. Sorry, you got to say hello to these folks.
Of course.
No, you don't.
Anyways. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say now. Don't you? Is
that COVID brain or?
I mean.
Tell you something. I took something this morning. I swear to you, I have my stress comes out in my back and my neck. If I have stress, I can feel it,
Mm-hmm.
And I got up this morning. I said, okay, I need to take a muscle relaxant. So I took something and my body just set on fire. I was welting all over. My heart rate was going up. My face was so red, like I was blowing a balloon, It was actually scary. Sitting here, I was trying to calm myself down, So I took an antihistamine, and within a couple hours, it was gone. But I was itching like crazy all over my body. My hands were swollen. My feet were swollen. Really scary. And then I slept for a couple of hours. I almost missed your message today.
Wow.
Weird.
Really weird.
I got stung in the face by a bee just a couple of weeks ago, and that way I was like, I could taste it in my mouth like a few minutes later, and I was just kept on looking at my hands to see if they were going to start swelling up like a big monkey paw. It's like, I don't think I'm allergic to bee stings, but I've never been stung in the face before, so I didn't know what was going to happen, and I kept expecting to suddenly blow up like fucking the Toxic Avenger or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it didn't happen, so I was relieved but kind of disappointed at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I could just go and really freak people out.
Somebody get me the EpiPen.
Yeah, so now I've started. There's a community garden quite close that I volunteer in from time to time, and there's maybe I think there's 10 beehives in there, and I mean I love that. I mean I grew up near there was beehives all over the place where I grew up. Everybody, well not everybody, but a lot of people had like a little hive or something. But the beekeeper comes down and takes the honey, but he doesn't tell anybody when he's doing it or when he's done it. So the bees get really aggressive. So one day they're great, you get down the next day, and you get stung in the eye.
Oh.
So yeah. So it's like you have to put up a schedule of when you're going to do this, so we know when to stay away.
Well, some people could actually die on a trip down there.
Yeah, some people are deathly allergic to them.
Yeah, I see a legal case there. If it was the U.S., somebody would use that to their advantage. They'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
strolling around there all the time.
Yeah, in
Come
the
on,
UK,
bees, sting me.
if in the UK you went to court and claiming like damages because you get stung by a bee, you would be told to fuck off and stop wasting their time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can you present the bee?
Yeah. Like, remember the old McDonald hot cup and the lap thing?
Oh, I
Oh
remember.
yeah,
Coffee and the
spilt
lap
our own
thing.
coffee. Wasn't that something like a $5 million payout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was a
You
huge
spilled your
payout.
own damn coffee.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. America's so litigious. It's
Absolutely absurd.
one of the first things we were taught or told in law school was never ever use the US as a comparison because it's a
No.
madhouse.
Yeah.
You know, they make the laws up as they go, literally.
Huh.
Just make it up
Yeah.
as they go.
Yeah.
You know, and
So
you get some.
sorry.
on.
I just want to ask if it's all right, what kind of law you practice?
I'm not practicing at the moment because health issues, but I specialised in contract and I was an advocate, human
Oh.
rights advocate, essentially.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Right, so it was people, who a lot of time it was like asylum seekers or people who'd been given refugee status. And it
Yeah.
was advocating to make sure they had all their health benefits they were entitled to, housing, welfare, all that
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of a thing.
Okay.
And that's simply because I've got an aptitude for languages.
Mhm.
And while I was at university, I was the president of the student association.
Mhm.
And a lot of what I was doing was just essentially advocating for students who had fallen behind in their work or been made homeless or in financial difficulties and everything.
Oh,
So
okay.
when I left, I just sort of carried on,
Nice.
doing that. But
Yeah.
contract law was my speciality,
Okay.
specializing in media law and international e-commerce, for
Oh,
copyrights, copyright infringements. People
yeah.
thinking because they're in America, they can take the record or the art or something
Yeah.
of the music from somebody in the UK or whatever and
Yeah.
change it slightly and say, it's mine now, and then sell
Mhm.
it. You're like, no, these people have signed up to the treaties, and you
Yeah.
can't just do that. So a lot of the time it was making sure people hadn't been ripped off and stuff,
Okay.
and
Oh,
that's a
that's
legal
interesting.
term and stuff,
Wow.
But
Sounds
that's what I was doing. But most of the time now, it's just people coming to me and asking me for advice regards
Mhm.
like family law, or access to children, divorces, and things like that. So I
Yeah.
just do that pro bono now, just helping people out where I can. But
Yeah.
the first piece of advice I give to anybody that comes to me is don't get a lawyer involved.
No.
Unless it's a criminal case, do not get a lawyer involved. All it's going to do is cost you money.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the end, the only one who wins is the lawyer.
Well, yeah, they'll say, if there's one lawyer in a town, he'll be broke. If there's two, they'll be rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just waste your time sending letters backwards and forwards to one another and charging you 70 quid a time.
Well, yeah, I mean, case in point, I've been trying to get my mom's ashes sorted for the last 3 years. They're still sitting here because a lawyer got involved. It's taking months just to find out if it's possible to do. I mean, just ridiculous. $4,000 for this guy to answer emails 3 months after they're sent.
Yeah,
yeah.
There was a case I wasn't involved in, but it was one of our kind of teaching cases where there was like a company had gone, it wasn't gone bust, but the parents who started the company had died.
Mm-hmm.
And before they died, they wrote the will up, and each person got like a particular amount of money. But by the time they wrote the will, and the time between them writing the will and passing away, the interest had accrued. So there was more money than was accounted for in the will.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 children had a fight over who was to get it. And they dragged it on for 5 years and spent about 10 times more than the actual amount that they would have got, would have inherited, just out of pure pettiness. And the lawyers made millions out of this,
Sure. Why not involve a mediator? Get some resolution,
No, it was all that bitterness, from like growing up. The eldest son thought he was entitled, but the eldest daughter said, Mum said I would get it, and the lawyers got involved, and that was the end of it. It dragged on for years and years, and
Mhm.
it's like, why? The amount was insignificant compared to the overall inheritance, and they spent 10 times that on lawyers' fees, so it cost them money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
That-
But that's what happens,
Yeah.
It's not in the lawyer's interest to wrap your case up quickly.
Yeah.
Could get a mediator in, all sit down, have a cup of coffee. 4 hours later, you've come to an agreement. You get paid once.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing. Yeah.
if I can set you against your own brother, I
Yeah.
can drag that on and charge you. You put on a retainer for
Mhm.
2 or 3 years, where I get paid $1,000 a month to do nothing.
Yeah.
But that's not the
Crazy.
kind of lawyer I am. I just want to make
No.
that clear.
No.
I'm
No.
not
No.
that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Never
it's kind
wanted
of
to
like
be that guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like that here in medicine. I mean, you walk into a clinic here, and the first thing they do is run a whole battery of tests. MRI for a headache. It's like, I think 40 years in Canada, I never had an MRI. Here, they'll do it at the drop of a hat. I mean, they'll prescribe you a whole bag of medicines for a 6-month-old baby. It's all about how much money can we rake in these private clinics, and you're going
Yeah.
back and back and back, and you never get a solution. And so you're
Mhm.
sitting here waiting to go back to the UK or America or wherever it is you're from to get a proper diagnosis, So
Yeah.
it's just the same thing.
Well, that's the best thing about UK and Canada, I suppose. You have a
Yeah.
free point of service
Yeah.
healthcare system where, I went in, I was suffering from, what do you call them, lightning headaches
Hmm.
a couple of years back, and I went in and they gave me an MRI and I had a CAT scan. They did some X-rays and they went through, maybe 7 or 8 procedures,
Hmm.
because if I go in, I see 7 different doctors. That's
Hmm.
not classed as one treatment. It's classed
Hmm.
as 7 separate treatments. So
Right.
when they indent for their budget for the hospital next year, they
Yeah.
count each separate treatment as a visit. So rather than having 100,000 visits, they've got 700,000 visits or 800,000, and
Yeah.
that's when they apply for their budget. But it's
Yeah.
a comprehensive care system from the minute you walk in to the
Well, that's
you
it.
walk out.
And there's
But
justification for doing it. I mean, if a doctor's gonna request an MRI, they better have something to back it up.
yeah,
You know.
but in
But
America, the treatments that I got for free would have put me in penury.
yeah,
I'd have to sell the house to pay for it, and that's not right. That's
no,
not good.
no.
And that's the way it here. That's the way it is here in Vietnam as well. Whether you go to the local hospital or to an international clinic, you don't get squat until you pay up front.
Yeah, I find that utterly bizarre and horrifying that
Yeah.
you go into a hospital and they'd ask you if you can pay first.
Oh yeah, and I remember that again. Back to my mom taking her. This is the last few weeks. I took her to the hospital. She was so dehydrated. Now, luckily, there was an ER doctor living next door to me in the building. So I just knocked on his door. I said I would not ordinarily ask, but please, can you come? So he sent me to his hospital, and they said we need a 10,000 dirham deposit. And in the middle of, I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. She's dehydrated. Give her some electrolytes, check her out, admit her for an evening, keep her on balance or whatever. And they said, no, sorry, 10,000 or we can't continue. In the middle of the appointment, they cut everything off. Doctor walked in, said, stop service. They didn't even continue the procedure they had started, which was giving her some injection or putting her in an IV drip, whatever.
See, that's inhumane.
It is. So they sent me home, and the doctor, he came back and he said, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you look at it, she was at the last few days. So it was inevitable. So we did the best to keep her doing well. Now, that was an Indian hospital, not to classify. I mean, I don't want to say they're all the same, but we took her later to a resident a local hospital, Sheikh Khalifa. She was in intensive care for 3 days. The doctor said, whatever we do will be considered inhumane. If we do, a needle to the chest to check for cancer, it will kill her, etc. The best you can do is keep her comfortable. And we walked downstairs, and the hospital manager said, free of charge. We could not help your mother. And they sent us home without paying a dirham. And it was like I said, 3 days in intensive care. So that's the difference in mentality, you know?
Yeah, this is a thing. It's like, again, it's a culture shock.
Yeah,
To be happy that you weren't charged for palliative care
yeah,
is, again, it's totally alien to me. It's
it
like,
is.
we
It
have,
is
like,
for,
in the UK, we have any number of hospices that just do offer end of life palliative care.
yeah,
And some of them obviously cost money because they're privatized and all the rest of it.
yeah,
But there are NHS and charity run, like St.
yeah.
Columba's, who do a great job. But the
Well,
idea that you'd be thankful that you weren't charged hundreds of thousands of pounds for it is just,
Yeah.
it
there's
is.
something sick in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I agree. Had she been in Canada, this would have been a non-issue, but she chose to follow me, and that was the hand that was dealt. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's very scary.
Yeah.
I mean, you
It's
need
really-
an appendix removed, and you're calling all your friends to see if you can borrow the money to have the operation.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I say I go on when I go on holiday, and people say, "Oh, do you want to come and we'll do like the sky surfing or the rock climbing?" Or
Yeah.
no, absolutely not, because I
No.
can't afford the medical bills if I break my arm or I break a leg or whatever
Yeah.
it happens
Yeah.
to be. Or did you
Yeah.
take out travel insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that only covers your initial visit to the hospital. It doesn't cover if you
Yeah.
have to be in there
Yeah.
for like a
Any
fortnight
extensive
getting,
treatment.
if you break a
Yeah.
rib, when you're there and you can't fly back or whatever. So there's no way I'm risking that. Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. But Sir Little Wolf makes a good point. Says, how does that fit the doctor's oath of do no harm? Not
Yeah.
helping because you can't pay is doing
Yeah,
harm.
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
the Batman defense, isn't it? Though I'm not
Yeah.
going to kill you. I'm just not going to save you.
Yeah.
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 So,
Go on.
sorry. As far as Vietnam now, do teachers generally, is this by government teachers or private, are they given a good health plan? Like, are you covered insurance
To a
wise?
degree,
Oh.
but most of it we have to kind of pay up ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage of it is that we don't have to pay up front. We can get service right away,
Mm.
but the clock is running for sure.
Yeah.
Other than just immediate basics, the clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
To ADHD Cat, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. So, yeah. So there's another point Owlman makes here. Targets without resources leads to people gaming the system. I'm not sure exactly what he really means by that.
No, I'm not sure you can game the NHS. I mean, they'll find out pretty quickly if there's you're faking it. I mean, there is a problem, obviously, with people faking mental illness issues in the UK, because that's really, really hard to diagnose without physical symptoms. If somebody comes in and says they're hearing voices, you've got to take them at their word. And I was actually talking to Etty about this earlier on. There's an issue with the mental health system in the UK, where you get people you're on benefits or whatever, and they spend all their money on drink or down at the bookies or whatever it happens to be. And then they realise they've got no money for the next 2 weeks. So they go up to a psychiatric hospital, say, oh, I'm going to commit suicide. And then they have to admit them, and they get a bed and 3 for free for a couple of weeks, and then they get back out into the world. But some of the doctors have started to put them on like 3-month sections, so they don't get to do that anymore. You know, it's like you think I'll be out, I'll go in there for a week, you know, get fed, and then I'll just discharge myself. No, you're not. You're being held under section, and you're not getting out. You know, and then they don't ever do it again, because you know, it really does fucking screw with your life if you're held in a psychiatric unit for 3 months.
I remember hearing about people doing that with the prison system in Canada. They wanted to get inside for the winter.
Well, it's a massive problem. This is one of the things I used to advocate for when I was still practicing. It was people who were homeless who would commit petty crimes to get a night or a weekend in the cells, you know, and they wouldn't, you know, they'd get fed and out in the harshest winters, you know, but then they would end up with these extensive criminal records for little petty things, you know, like breach of the peace, you know, minor criminal damage, but they had no choice. You know, so they
messes up your life. Sure.
So they started going up to like train stations and bridges and things and threatening to throw themselves off, so they would be sectioned rather than arrested. But then they find themselves with like a long history of, you know, criminality as well as a record for being sectioned under the Mental Health Act, and for the crime of being homeless in the winter. You know, so you know, then they get themselves sorted, find themselves a home, get their life together again, go to apply for a job. Do you have a criminal record? And they bring out like a Rolodex. You go, but it's all the little stupid petty things. You know, it's a damn shame.
It is,
but that's the way the system is, unfortunately. That's the only way you can game the system, but you're really playing yourself, because a year down the line and you've got this record of mental health issues that you faked, you know, just to get a bed for the night, and it's not right.
No, it isn't.
But yeah, welcome to the Tory Britain, I suppose.
Well, I have an ex-coworker of mine from Jordan, and she had 5 children and was divorced, and she had friends who had immigrated to Holland. And they said, oh, come on over here. You'll get a house, free schooling, and you'll get money every month. And she was actually considering doing it. And that's draining the system, too. That's why we can't help the locals that are homeless. You know, I mean, I'm not against immigration or taking in refugees. It's not the issue. Please don't get me wrong, people. But there are lots of different ways that we drain the system. And that's also one of them, you know.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of myth and reactionary feelings about that. I didn't word that very well. But yeah, there are obviously people who come to Europe from I don't want to say less developed countries, but countries that don't have a comprehensive health and education system, which is free at the point of service. And they come thinking, you know, I'll get my kids an education and all that, you know, get a free house and everything. And that's great, you know, I've no issue, you know, that I'm against having borders in any case. But then you get people who say they live in, like, we had, I'm not going to say problem or issue or anything like that, because it wasn't really a problem or an issue, but people who had come to the UK from Eastern Europe at the fall, after the fall of the Soviet Union, and they would come here knowing that they would be treated better than they ever would be, and there was money available, there was housing available to them, and so on. And people were complaining that they were taking away houses from locals, you know, citizens, but there are houses set aside for that, so those houses were never available to Scottish citizens in the first place. So it's a myth that they're taking houses from us, because those houses were never for us in the first place.
Well, that's it. And the thing is, you know what? If I can't imagine myself being at the foot of a war, you know, and having to run away and leave my home. I mean, people are just running to safety, basically, and they'll go wherever they can to get that safety. You know, the issue is with the people who go and then they manipulate the system, you know, ad nauseum.
Tiny percentage. Maybe people say this a lot. I don't know if you've seen there's a crisis at Calais and Dover, and with people coming from France and tiny little boats that aren't safe, and people are drowning. You know, it's constantly happening. And say, well, if you're a refugee or you're an asylum seeker seeking refugee status, you're supposed to stop at the first safe country. And say, why are they coming to the UK? Is it because they speak English? They don't speak French. They don't speak Spanish. They don't speak Portuguese or whatever. They speak English. And there's a community here in London, Glasgow, Manchester of their own particular religious or ethnic group, which is why they want to come here. And it's got nothing to do with their welfare and benefit system, because they get a pittance. You know, like a few pounds a week for bare essentials.
Yeah.
You know?
But
and
they
the
have
idea
a
that
established community.
Yeah, the idea that somebody would travel thousands of miles on foot and brave, you know, an open sea to get here to get 50 quid a week is absurd. You know, they're coming here because, you know, people say, oh, they've got mobile phones. Yeah, they're not fleeing the 14th century. You know, they're fleeing war and famine and religious and political persecution. So, you know, this guy was a doctor, she was a teacher, she was a lawyer before they came here. You know, and it's this idea that there's like, I know Trumpty Dumpty spoke about it a few years ago, about this caravan of economic migrants coming from South America up to the border. See, that's been going on for decades, you know, and they're fleeing wars created by the USA's consumption of illegal drugs.
A lot of them are actually just walking through the US up to Canada, because we have a slew of Mexicans that kind of came in the underground in Western Canada. So not just headed for the dreamland, you know.
I don't think anybody. I don't want to sound like I'm denigrating Canada or anything.
No.
But no one's sitting right now in El Salvador looking at Canada as some sort of nirvana.
Well,
do you know what I mean? It's simply better than where you are.
Exactly.
You know? It's a case of anywhere is better than here.
Yeah.
I mean, in Scotland and Ireland, like, you know, like a huge percentage of us as a country, as a nation and a people moved to Canada and America and Australia because of various economic and political reasons and everything, but no one dreamt of going to Canada, you know, because it was just, you had no choice.
Yeah.
People are slowly starting to realize that Canada and the US are not the lands of milk and honey they used to be.
I don't think they ever were, to be honest.
No.
Now, I used to watch American movies when I was a kid, you know, and it was Westerns, and then the kind of 80s fad, you know, those teen movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all that. It's great, hilarious comedies and everything. And America looked like it was populated by like super kids, you know, who owned like Cadillacs and spent all day at the Hop, you know, drinking milkshakes and going to prom and everything. And they all looked a lot older than we did. Then you discover they were played by actors in their 30s and 40s, which is why. But it did look like an amazing place where everything was free, and, you know, and then you see in the reality of it, you know, you look at places like Detroit, you know, it's like, damn, that just looks like Glasgow, you know.
Yeah, like some parts of London, you know, it's like, ooh, scary.
Well, the
Bronx, New York.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But these kind of working class areas are of a muchness, no matter where you are. And it's like, why would you uproot and move across to somewhere that looks and feels and smells exactly like the place you just left?
Yeah.
You know? But it's one of those places I did want to go when I was a kid, because I thought it was Disneyland from top to bottom. Now, not that I'm a fan of Disney, I fucking hate Disney, but it just looked like, you know, sunny. And coming from Scotland, that was a big deal, you know, like somewhere like California or Florida, where the sun was out all the time. People spent their entire life surfing and going, yo, dude, you know, he's a bizarre way of speaking, you know, and it just looked like paradise to us, you know. But then you realize really quickly it's just another country with its own particular set of problems, and we're not really that different, other than, you know, the sunshine and the surf. But I
Yeah.
don't think I'd trade my life here for sunshine and surf.
No.
Awesome. Clive Wells, thanks for reminding me. Jim Bob has a stream coming up in about an hour's time. I can science that. I think he's. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was thinking of something else. But yes, Rob has a stream coming up in about an hour. So everybody make sure you head on over there. And thanks, Clive, for passing along the link. So let's get out there and support Rob.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I watched that I Can Science that video just a week or so ago. I can't remember what it was about, though. But yeah, it was a little short thing. It was only a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go and search it now. That's going to annoy me.
Well,
So
I was just looking at the,
right. Sorry, go on.
I was just looking at the time, and we're past 8 o'clock. Wow.
No, it's only 2 o'clock. You've got that wrong. How embarrassing for you.
But anyways, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up, Hilda?
No, not really. I'm just going with the flow, bringing
Cool.
up things as they come along.
Cool. That's what we're all about here.
I'm trying to be honest with you, I'm trying to guard myself a little bit because I don't want to step on any toes or make anything inappropriate comments or opinions about things. So I'm still feeling you guys out.
I think
that's what I'm
you'll
here
find
for.
most of the guys in the side chat are pretty thick-skinned. We can take it as well as we can dish it out.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm always coming from a good place. I'm
There you go.
I'm the least hateful person you could find, really. I just have big opinions.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tusk.
No, I discovered it was just did a quick I Can Science that, and it was that's the guy who was talking to Bev, where Bev claimed that he had never ever seen a model of a globe, and no one had ever told him that the Earth was a globe before, and he just lost his shit with him and called him a liar right to his face.
Aha. Okay, I think I do recall that, actually. I'm going to head over and watch that stream for sure.
Yeah, Bev was doing his level is horizontal act, and I Can Science that cornered him, and Bev had to lie and say that he'd never heard anybody ever say the Earth was a globe.
He's so full of shit.
You're a fucking liar. That's you know, other than where the toilets are, that's the first thing you learn when you go to kindergarten. Do you know what I mean? Nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Bev is like a Weasley version of Leo.
Oh, Leo's just see that this is why I kind of stopped getting involved so much in the whole flat earth thing, because it's just an act. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 of them who are genuinely insane and believe that, you know, angels exist and the earth's flat, you know, nonsense.
Are they coming out of Utah by chance?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
God alone knows. No, this isn't like these Mormon kids or something. I mean, this is like grown ass men in their 40s and 50s, and you know, who believe in angels and you know, just talking snakes. Absolute fucking lunatics. But those people you can just they're outliers. Do you know what I mean? There's always like the lunatic fringe in any community. But then you get people like, you know, Bev and QE and everything, who are just bad actors. They're just here to make a name for themselves, and they don't care who they hurt or rip off along the way, you know.
They're just there to stir the pot and make some money.
Yeah, well, what's his face? Fartzoid just did a fundraiser a couple of weeks ago for a new PC. The buzzer's just gone with Sam, isn't it, though? And he was asking for money for a new PC, and Arwen sent him like $5. Arwen doesn't have $5. Do you know what I mean? That's probably that's genuinely probably Arwen's food money for the week, and he sent it to this scumbag to buy a new PC, which he doesn't need. You know, and it was like, you're an absolute piece of crap. You took that guy's last few bucks just because you don't care where it comes from. It was free money, so you'll take it. And it made me so angry that I consider starting like a GoFundMe for Arwen so he can, buy
so
a
he
new
can get back
chair
his
and
$5.
things, you can get his $5 back. But I thought, who's going to do that? Because he's been so bad and so nasty to people over the last couple of years that no one's going to do that,
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Hawkins gave him like $10 a few months ago, and Arwen's reaction was to call him a scumbag and block him from his channel. It's a genuine altruistic act. Like, here, I've got $20, I'll give you 10. And Arwen went, yeah, fuck you, and blocked him.
Jeez,
Oh my gosh.
So he's insane. He's gone.
Oh yeah.
But there are, maybe one or two like Danny Pratt and stuff like that who actually do believe the things they're saying and have been said to them. And I just can't be doing with that anymore because we've either got con artists or lunatics and there's no one in between.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah, it's because it's a nicotine product.
No, it's not.
I know, but it is. Sorry, Effie's just said we ordered some nicotine-free disposable vape kits for her from Amazon because she's trying to give smoking up and everything. But because it's a smoking product, then you have to present ID when it's delivered. And now Effie's all bent out of shape. It's like, you answer the door covered in tattoos and someone says, do you have any ID? Yes, I do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Oh, what the fuck's up
Which
with
arm
that
did I
baby
put that
face?
on?
Well, I got ID'd a couple of weeks ago because I bought a new axe for going camping. So I'm doing more kind of wild camping and fishing now. And the guy looked at me and said, sorry, mate, I've got to ask you for ID. And I thought, okay, it's an axe. I get that,
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
But it's like some little twonk who's half my age IDing me.
That's what just happened.
Well,
anyways, guys.
Anyway, yeah, time's
Sorry.
getting on. Eddie and I are supposed to be out of here about half an hour ago.
I was enjoying the conversation. Didn't have the heart to stop you.
Oh no, it's fine. I was looking at the time, going, well, where I'm going doesn't shut until 4 o'clock, so I've got a couple of hours to get there.
So, okay. So
and it's only half an hour down the way. So
cool.
But yeah, we're going to go out and buy things for dinner and all that.
No worries.
Well, it was good to
So
see everybody again. So I know I've not been around for a while because when it gets to winter again and I'm stuck indoors, I'll probably around a lot more.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, Tusk. You know that.
Oh, thank you. It's nice when there's like at least one person who's pleased to see me.
Yeah, I got no issue with you. Never have, never will. Anytime you want to pop on, you just let me know.
Oh, I do miss everybody and seeing in the chat and all that, and but I say it's just for my own mental health. I can't be doing the same thing over and over again from these clowns making absurd claims about, the angle of the dangle, proves the Earth's flat and all this absolute horseshit.
I think we all need a hiatus in the summertime. It's our chance to get out and enjoy life.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. Rather than talking about the shape of the Earth, I'm going to go out and actually enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Drive the car, go on a road trip, see if you fall off the edge.
Yeah. But it's time to pull the plug, guys. But
okay, well, I'm going to
say thanks for popping in, Tusk. It was great to talk to you again. Haven't talked to you in a while.
It's always fun. I think we agreed last time we spoke after spending a good 2 hours tearing little dogs and their stupid fucking owners to pieces. Was it not cats we were going to do next?
Yeah, we're next.
Okay, careful.
That's the next target.
Yeah.
Cats.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
We'll set that up, Tusk. We're going to do that for sure. And Hilde, thanks for coming out again, dear.
No, my pleasure. I enjoyed today. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you did.
Yeah, I did.
You seem to have had a good conversation with Tusk this evening.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you finally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But thanks for coming out, sweetie.
Okay.
I love having you on. And we'll have you on again real soon. Okay. And Crafty, if you're still out there lurking in the chat and listening, please do send me that mailing address so that Hilde can send out the knitting for the wee baron.
If he grows, if she doesn't hurry up, it's not going to fit him anymore. I'll have to make something else.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, she really wants to get that sent out to you. So just email me or WhatsApp me that address, okay, Crafty, and
When
you
she's
take
done
care. All right. And once you're back up and running, and you're back on live with us, Crafty, we're gonna have Hilde on so she can talk to you directly. I think
Mhm.
that would be cool. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Anyways, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Okay.
Went a little bit
Okay.
over, but that kind of makes up for a little bit of a kerfuffle with my OBS earlier at the beginning. So we're gonna stick with StreamYards moving forward for the next while until I figure some shit out.
Okay.
OBS will give you IBS. You don't want that.
Yeah, I'm getting close to trashing it all together, but we'll see. Anyways, that's it, folks.
Okay. Have a
Thank
good
you
week,
for coming
guys.
out,
Okay, cheery and rasta.
and see y'all next
Yeah.
week.